Hey guys, welcome back. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to be priming my eyes using the LA Girl Pro Primer in the shade Nude, and this is my favorite eyeshadow base. I just kind of draw it on all over my eyelid and then just blend it out with my finger. It's the simplest thing ever. And then you want to make sure that you set your primer. So I'm going in with the Ice Cream palette by Dose of Colors, using that shade Berries and Cream just to lightly set. And that's just going to help later on with our blending. It's going to make it so easy to blend out our eyeshadows. Going in with the shade Cone. It's a very light mauve shade, and I'm using a MAC 224 brush for this, and this is just going to be a transition shade. And then I wanted to take a little bit of the Lavender Honey just to add a little bit of purple in there because it was like too cool for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and take Blueberry Swirl, which is like a deeper version of that Cone shade. I'm using this on a more denser, flatter brush, and I'm using this to really pack it on to that outer corner. And then what I'm doing is I'm packing on the color and then just blending it out until I get the desired shade that I'm looking for. So again, just really packing it on until I get a really nice deep kind of mauve purple shade. Going in with the shade Hot Fudge, it's a really nice deep brown color. I'm using this shade just to add definition and a little bit more depth into the crease, and I'm applying that in the same areas where I applied that blueberry swirl, but just a little bit lower and more towards the outer corner. And then I took, again, Blueberry Swirl and just applied it all over my eyelid. I'm using my finger for this just because I found that's how I got the most pigmentation with this eyeshadow. And then I'm going back in with that Hot Fudge shade just to make sure that it's like a little bit more darker and what I'm looking for. I'm going in with gel liner, but my camera did die while I was filming this part, so I only got me doing my wing and then like barely connecting it to my lid. And then we moved on to lashes. That's pretty much how it went down. So for lashes, I'm going to be taking Flutter in the style Intoxicating and the Benefit Roller Lash. I'm applying the mascara first to my lashes just to prime them. Then I'm going to go ahead and take Intoxicating and just apply that towards the center of the lid and then just adjust it on the outer and inner corner of the eye. And then it is time for the face. So I'm taking the Elsie Pearl Radiance Primer. This has been my favorite face primer for this whole month. I've just been using it nonstop and it's so hydrating and luminizing. I love it. And then I'm taking the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer, just focusing it on the center of my nose and then just right on the center of my cheeks as well, wherever my pores are the hugest. And then for foundation, I'm taking the Elsie Cosmetics Micro Silk Foundation in the shade Vanilla. The way I like to apply my foundation is just apply it, majority of it on the bottom jawline area, and then taking my beauty sponge to buff it out, and then whatever is left over on the back of my hand, I'll just go ahead and just add the coverage towards my cheek area. For the under eye, I'm going to be taking the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. This is my favorite thing ever created, ever on planet Earth and Mars. I'm just taking this under my eye. I'm going to buff it out with my beauty sponge. And then I realized that I didn't like how it was buffing with the sponge, so I just went ahead and used my finger. Just, I guess the warmth of my finger was just really melting it nicely into the skin, and it wasn't creasing as much, I found. And then for concealer, I'm taking the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is my favorite under eye concealer. I love it. It's so hydrating because it does have coconut water. It's brightening. I believe it has Alpine Rose in it, so that's why it's a very brightening, radiant concealer, and it's just so nice and dewy. I'm obsessed with it. So I just went ahead and highlighted under my eyes, the bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, chin, and forehead. And then I'm just going to go ahead and buff all of that out with my Morphe Beauty Sponge. And then we just need a little break, a little water break. And moving on, I'm taking the RCMA No Color Powder and I'm using that with my beauty sponge just to set the under eye. I'm not baking, just a very light amount, and we're just going to be setting. And then we're going to take the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Powder in the shade Light Plus, and I'm using this just all over my face just to lightly set my foundation. I do like that this is the Mineralized Skin Finish is a little bit more luminizing and it's very lightweight on my skin, so I love using that all over my face. Taking the Hoola Benefit the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit. I'm going to go ahead and contour. I'm using the R8 by Morphe. This is my new favorite way to contour. What I'm doing is creating a very sharp line and then just buffing upward in up and down motion just to help blend out that product. And I'm doing it upward because I don't want to bring the contour down too low. It's just going to not even give the effect of a contour. So again, just creating a very sharp line, back and forth motion, and then once I need to blend that color out, then I'll go ahead and just buff upward and downward motions. And that's just for my cheeks, and then whatever is left on my brush, I'll go ahead and just bronze up the temples of the forehead and a little bit of the jawline. Next for blush, I'm going to be taking the Morphe 9N palette and that Mauve pink shade. I'm just applying a little bit of this. It's a really pretty matte blush. And then we're going to go ahead and go in with highlight. This is the Deysi Danger palette in collaboration with Morphe. And I took that first pink shade that I was showing you guys and I used that as my base. And then I'm going to go in with another pink shade that's in her highlight palette that has a little bit more of a pearly undertone. And I'm layering that shade right on top of the first color. Taking the shade Blueberry Swirl and a pencil brush, I'm just going to smudge this against my lower lash line. What I'm going to be doing is just using all the shades that I pretty much used up in my crease and depositing them down to my lower lash line. And what I'm doing here is taking that hot fudge color on a flat definer brush and just really getting that super close to my lash line just to add a lot of depth and definition, and then taking that pencil brush and smoking it out. So as you can see, again, just depositing and blending. This look is kind of a smoky, like wearable look. So you do want to keep in mind just the blending and the patience that you're going to need. And then I went ahead and took that hot fudge shade and just applied that in my waterline. And then moving on to lips, this is the Sephora Cream Lip Stain in the shade Marvelous Mauve. I believe it's number 13. And I'm just going to be applying that all over my little lippies. And then just make sure that you set your makeup. I'm using the Mario Badescu setting spray. This is the rose water, and then just a little bit of a touch up, a little bit more blending, and then you're all set. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments down below what else you guys would like to see next, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!